Today, people are talking about depression, mental health, and just about everything in general. So in this audio I will present some points of view on happiness at work, which I think is still a taboo subject. An anthropologist named David Graeber published the book Bullshit Job to give a category of superfluous by function in the work world. I will give my opinion on this question and highlight the gray areas of the world of work in my own way and as usual. Does a job automatically have to be boring? Does capitalism make us so anxious that we forget any notion of objectivity? Should each profession have real social value? What is a bullshit job according to David Graeber? The boring useful and the boring useless, the paperwork jobs, all its infernal puzzles in which the world has become comfortably installed. The world of work has long retained its structures since its launch without really adapting to the economic and emotional changes of modern populations. Now, I'm going to talk a little about David Graeber's vision of the stupid profession in his words and professional efficiency, where it seems that society has created improvised or even shoddy professions, a bit like a half-assed company empty. First of all, we have the lackey who does everything and the gun carrier who is this useless and superfluous profession which flirts with the overconsumption of modern needs. Then, the tinkerers and box tickers. The tinkerer is this profession where the individual is responsible for finding excuses for sometimes minor problems that should not exist. He is a kind of good friend who is a bit of a liar. The box ticker is the one who gives a professional appearance without being professional. He is a bit of a Sunday actor for action films. He makes people believe that he is working when in reality he is not working. His only function is to create a professional image without having in-depth knowledge, just like poker where luck sometimes turns into a simple bluff. And finally, the little boss who is responsible for monitoring his employees without really doing it. The arrogant who is just part of the decor and who sometimes gets all the credit. This is the most problematic status of the bureaucratic profession. For David Graeber, people in corporate bureaucracy receive money for nothing, respect for nothing and without merit. These people who have a bullshit job are themselves depressed and sick of their own jobs. For him, people like to have this feeling of value and usefulness which does not exist in their own professions. They want to contribute positively to society. And without this notion of value, these people feel like they are disappearing and become unhappy in their lives. I think society should look a little more closely at the value of happiness at work and the benefits that this new vision could bring. According to David Graeber, society has a professional ideology of ardent sacrifice where human beings must earn the love of the community through the suffering of the task, an ideal very linked to the Christian religion for him. He also believed that the employment system is inefficient, unlike capitalism. These professions that can be replaced by robots and machines raise fears of job loss. For David Graeber, humanity has never filled out so many paper forms before except in our current era. We are drowning in paperwork and no one imagines anything other than that. It's normal. I find that the question of human existence and truth comes up often and always in our societies. It's a bit like a never-solved mathematical problem that pursues us constantly and in all eras. There is this work named Robert Wright's Moral Animal that I skimmed over but which exposes the notion of possible coexistence between the human body and the human mind. I like to use my time efficiently, but I have conveyed to you the general idea of this book, but still it is an interesting book. In my opinion, society should experiment with a universal basic salary for new professions that are committed to the happiness of the community. Changing our monetary system with a multifunctional currency with a mechanical aspect as a commercial exchange value could be a pragmatic solution for everyday life and for everyone. For me, the question of happiness at work must become important and a priority. The question of well-being at work has never yet been raised. We have always noted the negative effects of the world of work but never the root causes linked to the world of work. The atmosphere at work, human exchanges without oxygen or conviviality, the economic context of the company, the poorly constructed status of employees, the stagnant objectives of a company, the immobility of the business world. Finally, I will propose a follow-up to the question of happiness at work, and by answering certain questions and also my own questions like here, I will develop in my own way the notion of work in general and stupid jobs with my future partner of discussion, as planned for all my next complex topics. Yes, it's a taboo, but it's time for the business world to open its doors wide to women and in women's ways. Whether in social relationships or at work, men should stop considering women as enemies and superficial beings.